The unexpected dance partner. The grand ballroom of the Metropolitan Hotel sparkled under crystal chandeliers, their warm light casting dancing shadows across marble floors. Catherine Morrison sat quietly near the edge of the elegant space, her cream-colored evening gown flowing gracefully over her wheelchair. At 28, she possessed the same sharp intelligence that had made her father, CEO Richard Morrison, a formidable figure in the business world. But tonight, like so many other nights, she felt invisible. That annual Morrison Industries charity gala was in full swing. Executives in tailored tuxedos mingled with their perfectly dressed wives, champagne glasses clinking as deals were discussed and friendships were maintained. Catherine had attended these events for years, always hopeful that this time would be different. This time, someone would see past the wheelchair. This time, she wouldn't spend the evening watching others dance while she sat alone. Her 3-year-old niece, Emma, had been her only companion for most of the evening. The little girl's red velvet dress matched her bright personality, and she chatted endlessly about the pretty lights and fancy decorations. Emma didn't see anything unusual about her aunt's wheelchair. To her, Catherine was simply the most wonderful person in the room. "Aunt Katie, why aren't you dancing?" Emma asked innocently, tugging at Catherine's silk gloves. Catherine smiled softly, smoothing Emma's blonde curls. "Sometimes people dance differently, sweetheart. I'm perfectly happy watching you twirl." But she wasn't happy. Each passing year, the loneliness grew heavier. She watched colleagues greet her father with enthusiasm, shake his hand, compliment his business success. Then their eyes would briefly acknowledge her presence with polite nods before quickly looking away. It was as if her wheelchair made her less real, less worthy of genuine connection. The accident had happened 5 years ago. A drunk driver had changed everything in an instant. Catherine had been an active woman then, hiking on weekends, dancing salsa on Friday nights, traveling the world for her marketing position. The physical therapy had been grueling, but the emotional adjustment proved far more challenging. People treated her differently now. Some spoke louder, as if her legs not working somehow affected her hearing. Others avoided eye contact entirely, uncomfortable with what her disability represented. Her father loved her deeply, but even Richard Morrison struggled sometimes. He would introduce her to business associates with a protective tone, as if preparing them for disappointment. Catherine understood his good intentions, but it made her feel like a burden rather than the accomplished woman she remained. As the evening progressed, Catherine found herself retreating further into the shadows. Emma had been whisked away by her parents for bedtime, leaving Catherine truly alone. The music swelled, couples moved gracefully across the dance floor, and laughter echoed through the grand space. She considered asking her driver to take her home early. Then she noticed him. Marcus Chen stood near the refreshment table, looking equally out of place but for different reasons. He wore a simple black suit that was clearly not custom-tailored like the others. His dark hair was styled neatly, but there was something refreshingly unpretentious about him. He held a small gift bag and kept checking his phone, as if waiting for someone. Catherine had seen him before at company events. He worked in the IT department. She believed, a single father who had joined Morrison Industries about 2 years ago. She remembered hearing whispers about his story, how he had moved across the country for this job, how he was raising his young daughter alone, but she had never spoken to him directly. Marcus seemed to be scanning the room, his expression thoughtful rather than nervous. When his eyes met Catherine's across the ballroom, he didn't look away. Instead, he smiled genuinely and began walking toward her. "Excuse me," he said, approaching her corner with confident steps. "You're Catherine Morrison, aren't you?" "I'm Marcus Chen from the IT department." "Yes, hello," Catherine replied, surprised by his direct approach. Most people introduced themselves to her father first. Marcus pulled up a nearby chair and sat down, bringing himself to her eye level. This simple gesture spoke volumes about his character. "I hope you don't think this is too forward, but I've been watching you tonight, and you look like you'd rather be anywhere else." Catherine laughed despite herself. "Is it that obvious?" "Only to someone who feels the same way," Marcus admitted. "These fancy events aren't really my scene either. I'm here because my daughter's babysitter canceled last minute, and I promised to pick up her Christmas gift from the charity auction. She's been talking about that dollhouse for weeks." "How old is your daughter?" Catherine asked, genuinely interested. 7. Her name is Sophie. She's probably at home right now, building blanket forts and eating too much ice cream with her grandmother." Marcus's face lit up when he talked about his child. "She asked me to take pictures of the pretty decorations, especially the chandeliers." They talked icily for several minutes. Marcus treated Catherine like any other person he might meet at a social gathering. He asked about her work. She had returned to marketing after her recovery and shared stories about his daughter's latest ventures. He didn't ask about her wheelchair or treat her with the careful politeness she was accustomed to. The orchestra began playing a slower piece, something classical and beautiful. Couples moved onto the dance floor, swaying gently to the melody. Catherine felt the familiar pang of longing as she watched them. "Catherine," Marcus said quietly, standing up and extending his hand, "would you do me the honor of being my dance partner?" She looked up at him, startled. I don't know if you understand. I can single quotes T. double quotes. "I understand perfectly," Marcus interrupted gently. Dancing isn't about standing or walking. It's about moving together, feeling the music, sharing a moment. If you're willing, I'd love to dance with you. Catherine hesitated for only a moment before placing her hand in his. Marcus positioned himself beside her wheelchair and began moving slowly to the rhythm of the music. He guided her chair in gentle circles, his movements graceful and purposeful. Other dancers made space for them naturally, and Catherine realized that several people were watching with genuine smiles rather than pitying stares for the first time in years. Catherine felt the joy of dancing again. It was different from before, but it was beautiful in its own way. Marcus moved with her, not around her or despite her, but truly with her. The music seemed to wrap around them, and the rest of the ballroom faded away. "Thank you," she whispered as the song ended. "Thank you," Marcus replied. "That was the most genuine moment I've had at one of these events." As the evening continued, Catherine found herself laughing more than she had in months. Marcus introduced her to several other employees she had never properly met before. His easy acceptance of her seemed to give others permission to see her as a whole person rather than a disability. When the gala finally ended, Marcus walked Catherine to her car. "I hope this isn't presumptuous," he said, "but would you like to have coffee sometime? Sophie would love to meet you, and I'd enjoy continuing our conversation." Catherine smiled, feeling lighter than she had in years. "I would like that very much." As her car pulled away from the hotel, Catherine reflected on the evening. She had spent so long waiting for others to see past her wheelchair that she had forgotten the most important truth. The right people wouldn't need to look past anything. They would simply see her. The city lights blurred past her window, but Catherine wasn't thinking about going home anymore. She was thinking about tomorrow, about coffee dates and new friendships, about a little girl who built blanket forts and a father who understood that dancing was about so much more than moving your feet. For the first time in a long while, Catherine Morrison felt truly seen.